Okay, so when you jump into here, this took way too long to set up. I tried to do the remote play on my PC again, but for some reason it didn't want to work. It just wanted to fight with me, and I kept trying with different things, and then I got it to pop up, and it's like, no, we don't like that. We're gonna keep disconnecting your controller. And it's like, okay, let me just turn back on the controller. Okay, we're disconnecting the PS4 from it now, and it's like, please stop. I just want to play a game with my friends. But no, it wanted to be dumb and take too long to set up. But oh well, it's working now. If you can't hear me, I'm gonna adjust the mic volume. Because I can do that. No, don't play the opening again! I just set that on continue. Oh boy. Oh, please tell me the chat thing is working. Let me just mute that. Mute. Okay. Oh, don't fight with me. Okay, oh shoot, I hit the mic. That's not good. Okay, one thing before we actually start Victor's Route, which is the one I'm highlighted on right now, which is where we go run into Venice and have sad times. I have the girls' education one too. Please raise your voice a bit. I can't hear you. Oh shoot. Okay, here, hold on. Let me turn that up some more. I thought I turned it up some more. I was wrong. I'll just bring the mic closer. There we go. Hopefully you can hear me better now. Okay, as I was saying, the top one up here that says save data 2, that goes into where we have the whole sad times with Venice and things like that. But before that, I had also made a save that has the girls' education one, which has the fun little times with Victor when we did the training with him, which some of them are pretty funny. So I went back to those, so I can show you guys those ones first, and then we can go into, and then I can immediately just load that one and go into his normal path. So let me just load that one. Yes, I do want to load the girls' education. Do you need to get closer to the mic or anything? It's louder, but not enough. Ah, shit. Really? Oh, I have the Yeti here. I can try and adjust that. Just a second. Here, hold on. Okay, I pulled up the Yeti. Hopefully this works better. Oh shoot, I think it's too high now because it keeps going in the red. Let's just turn that down a smidge. Okay. Is this any better? I hope it's better. I'm sorry for all the setup. I thought I was ready. I guess I'm not.
This stream is off to a great start. If it's not high enough, or if it's, I can hear you better. Okay, if I need to turn it up at any point, let me know, because I turned it down a little bit, because I didn't want it to blow the mic or anything. It's funny because this is the game audience. Hold on, let me turn that down. Let's turn that down a bit. Okay, I turned the game audio down a bit. Sorry for being late, I got distracted by reading the Wikipedia pages for the Drakengard games. That's not a problem at all. I have been there too to look at the Drakengard Wikipedia ones, and that is a story, alright. It's something. I was reading about Arden and Final Fantasy 15 Joker, everyone was just looking at Wikipedia. Oh shoot, hold on, let me, no, don't, Discord, stop being stupid. Okay. Now we're good. Now I can continue. But yeah, if the game audio is too loud, or if it's too low at any point, let me know, I will adjust it, or if you can't hear the mic or anything and I need to turn it up or turn it down, I will do that. It's no problem at all, I promise. I'm sorry it took me 7 minutes to set it up. So you're gonna be trained by us. Who do you want to train? We're gonna do Victor's. We're just gonna go through his 3 little one. Whoa, it's been ages, and we don't even know about the main plot yet. So we're just gonna go. We're just gonna do Victor's little training things, and then I will immediately jump into the save that goes into his. Teach me, Victor. I want Victor to teach me. Me? I'm honored, but I'm sure one of the others are more appropriate, like Lupin, or Van Helsing, or even the Count. We've already done Van Helsing, and I am not touching the Count. What about me? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean any harm. Yes, you did. It's when people say they meant no harm that it always hurts the most. Victor, what will you teach her? You mentioned handling chemicals, but I don't see how that pertains to self-defense. Shut up, We're back to the imp-hating train. Actually, there's more to it than you might think, Count. Victor says with a confident yet humble smile. I forgot about this man, I want to beat him up. Don't chuck him. After breakfast, Victor and I headed out into the forest near the mansion. Fine, this is far enough. Victor, did we really need to come all this way out here for a chemistry lesson? Yes, the chemicals we'll be using have combat potential. He opens the case he brought with him from the mansion and takes out a small glass tube. Man, I also miss these cute. Oh, come on! I'm glad you like my voice. My need for being able to defend myself arose when I had to run from the law. That's when I made a few dangerous concoctions. Dangerous concoctions. I remember when I first met Victor. He's probably talking about those tubes that explode or create bursts of light and sound. Some of them are non-lethal, but others are quite capable of ending someone's life. I thought I might give you some at some point. You're so cute! Which are you holding now? This is just an example for today. I'll let you have the real thing when we get back to the mansion. Alright, what should I use? Oh, hold on, they can all be dangerous with the wrong circumstances, so we have to exhibit proper safety precautions. Victor holds up a single glass tube. This is going to be a Man, I can't talk! A liquid explosive. There are 2 layers to the glass, and each one holds a different solution. When the glass breaks, say throwing it at the ground, the solutions mix, causing a rapid chemical reaction, so Victor suddenly throws it against a tree. Oh! It blew up! The moment the tube strikes the tree, a small explosion bursts forth. Just like that, even the slightest impact can cause it to explode. Amazing! Did you make this? Yes, I am an alchemist after all. I wouldn't be any good if I didn't know basic reactions. I really shouldn't be abusing my knowledge of alchemy for something like this, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Am I going to be using the exploding ones? I'm dumb because hearing chemicals reminds me of a campaign session where my friend wanted to drink one of them and then asked an NPC what's the green juice and it was iron oxide. The best campaign! No, that might be a little too dangerous. Maybe something a little more mild. It's not here. Victor rifles through his case for a moment, then smirks in disappointment. It seems I've forgotten it. It's alright though, I can still do something. Sit tight. Gee, do you know what a test tube is? I can easily create more from a mixture of this solution with that from the other test tube. The composition's much the same. Victor mutters something that is probably scientific and sounds like magic to me and begins working with something in his case. I take a peek at his face. His usual kind expression takes a back seat to the seriousness as he swirls the glass tube. I'm a bit enraptured by his demeanor. I grow a little embarrassed and look away. There's another large tube at his side and with a note attached to it. Don't open! Danger! Not even to find out why. This is serious. I guess he doesn't want it opened. Strangely, the repeated warnings about it somehow compel me to want to open it. Open it! Open it! Let's do it! I can't stop myself! I have to open it! I gingerly pry the lid off the glass tube. Nothing happens. Huh? Wait, Cardia, what are you doing? Victor, it's fine. See, nothing's happening. I suddenly feel dizzy. That's a powerful anesthesic! If you open that and then it gets into the air... Victor's speech suddenly becomes slurred. There he goes. Victor, I'm so sorry. Victor collapses on the ground and I fall on top of him. Oh no. I can't even get up. I'm so sorry, Victor. I hate that emoji. It's okay. Put in here both the VA and Z talking. Hours pass and the numbness eventually starts to go away and we're finally able to get up. If I need to turn down the VA, I can turn down the VA. So the lesson here is one that must be very careful when handling chemicals such as these. It's now dusk. Victor continues to lecture me. Since the sun's setting, let's wrap up today's lesson. Alright, you're a very good teacher. I've learned a lot of things and I feel very satisfied with the day's events. Victor seems embarrassed and waves his hand as if to dismiss my praise. No, you only feel that way because you're an outstanding student. You made it so easy to understand things. Even I couldn't understand which drugs have what effects. Well, I did teach a lot of people while I was working as a royal alchemist, and I'm glad I found my teaching I'm glad you found my teaching helpful. I look forward to our future lessons, Master Victor. Master Victor. Oh, that's funny. I'm surprised no one declared them missing after hours of training. You would have thought. We should get going. We don't want to be late for dinner. I nod in agreement and follow him back to the mansion. The lessons gave me not only helped me to learn to protect myself, but also stimulated my curiosity. I really want him to teach me again, so I can make us get knocked out again. I was taught by someone new, this should be all the same. I think we get one more. They're teaching him. Yeah, this is all the same. Because they're just like, oh, we just got a teacher. I want to teach her to use guns, and I want to teach her to punch people. What's the gift again? Is this the clothes? Yeah, this is the clothes. I could have sworn we got one more. Yeah, she's very pretty. She's a very good girl. Okay, yeah. Ask Victor! I wanna go with Victor! Although I feel that I've already taught you most of what you need to know would be useful in battle. It's just fun to listen to you. Even if it doesn't help in a fight, I still want to hear more. Well, that's an honor. Just to keep ignoring Impy. I know exactly how you feel. He's been helping devise equipment for me, and he's truly an amazing mind. True, I've learned a great deal from him regarding manufacturing ammunition. I guess I could say the same too. He gave me this awesome fuel the other day. I'm just one step closer to the moon. Sure, that way you can go away. It's good to have everyone's trust. Of course, I deeply appreciate Dr. Frankenstein's assistance in the mansion. Stop it, guys! You're making me blush! I'm looking forward to learning from you. I get it. I'll do what I can. Victor's lessons are always held in the same place. He says that normally chemical experiments are performed indoors, but we have to go out to prevent my poison from building up. It's convenient to stay outside when handling dangerous chemicals anyway. Really, I think I've taught you everything that you need to learn from me. I've shown you how to make flash bombs and smoke screens. What about that exploding one you used before? Explosives are way too dangerous and difficult to handle. We won't be going into them. And what if one explodes in your pocket? I see. What shall we do today then? Well, perhaps we can switch gears a little. Why don't you tell me about the development of alchemy in Britain? That sounds boring. Interesting. Tell me about Britain. That sounds interesting. Really? Great. It's actually really good to know the history of things. Your father, Isaac, was also the authority in alchemy. It's not a bad thing to learn about it in order to understand him better. Father. I look at Victor with a serious expression. Let's go to the beginning, with what alchemy is in the first place. Victor slowly begins to weave a story, and I listen to his peaceful voice. Alchemy has a very long history. I didn't recall getting 2 glossary ones there, but that's cool. It is said that it originated in an ancient Egyptian city of Alexandria, influenced by the philosophies of Greece's Aristotle. The original goal was to change an element's properties, and it was a dream of those seeking to change base metals into gold. For a long time, those dreamers refined their research, and alchemy developed into a larger institution in Arabia. To this day, no one has successfully been able to create gold or silver in this way. But alchemy has remained relevant for so long that because the research led to other discoveries like medicine and smelting. It was in the 12th century that alchemy arrived in Western Europe. It all started when a translator named Robert of Keaton translated an Arabic book of the alchemy by Marinus Romanus into Latin. I think I got that name right. Hope I got it right. The rulers of Britain became extremely interested in the new study of alchemy. Of course, the main reason for this was the greed due to the possibility of the creation of gold. These enthusiasts have another goal. What do you think that was? I don't know. They sought an immortality elixir. The Philosopher's Stone is said to create a perfect matter and generate a new spirit. This material, also known as Arcana, is said to be able to make people immortal. Alchemy spread like wildfire in Britain, and its practice changed with the times. The scientific method was added to the archaic, I think that is, suspicious of the way of thinking. Modern medicine creation falls under the definition of alchemy, and we can create matter with new properties. In this regard, a handful of people see alchemy as a branch of chemistry. The famous Isaac Newton researched alchemy and greatly contributed to our understanding of modern-day science. Alright then, so how exactly did the work of Isaac Beckford influence the world of alchemy? What did he take in ancient secret mystic techniques of alchemy and implement them into what we now call modern alchemy? He extracted truth from the mysticism which is seen as unscientific and merged them with modern scientific logic. As a result, many different kinds of chemicals and matter were brought into the world. Do you remember the extremely hard metal I showed off a while ago? Titanium was one of the fruits of his studies. Isaac discovered the element, after which it became possible for alchemists to refine it into a highly purified state. Apparently, alchemists holding his way of thought even started to revisit the old texts regarding the Philosopher's Stone. One theory goes so far as to say that Isaac succeeded in creating the Philosopher's Stone before his disappearance. With this sort of background, even after Isaac was out of the picture, in Britain, under the rule of Queen Victoria, the study of alchemy became one of the nation's major research fields. That was a mouthful. I need to get a glass of water with that. Okay. Victor pauses and looks at me. Noticing his gaze, I bring my mind back to the present from the world of alchemy and look back at him. What's the matter, Victor? Here is what I think, Cardia. The horologium cannot be a naturally occurring mineral. From all appearances, the horologium you carry was created by artificial means. Perhaps that gem was created by Isaac using alchemy. The horologium? Yeah, that rock in your chest. I unconsciously raise my hand to my chest. And then, do you think Father created it and implanted it in me? I don't know exactly. You said that this gem acts as my heart, then maybe Father placed it inside me out of love, so that I could live. I can't really say at this point. Victor? Why do you look so sad? I'm not sad. You're very sad. Victor smiles, but I can't help feel that there's still a melancholy behind it. Half the day goes by. Before we know it, it's sunset. Victor suggests we head back, and I agree. We stand up and begin walking back. Thank you, Victor. That was lovely. You're welcome. I had fun too. Thanks to you. It was a relief to hear that. Oh wait, that was Cardia. Shall we go? Oh, and let's keep it a secret that we didn't do any training today. Right, it's just between us. We make this agreement and then we reach the mansion. Okay, I think that's all the training they have. I don't think there's a third one. I think there's only two. Wait, so wrong button! Okay. So now we can go back to Victor's story. We want this one. Yes. Oh, it's raining cats and dogs! Just gonna skip this till we get under there, because this is where we're running to finish. And he's like, oh ho ho, you're not a real girl. Why is my phone going off? Oh boy, electricity, how cool is that? We gotta go find your dad. We're gonna split up, we're gonna look around the rooms. We could be in danger, let's not be in danger. I'm gonna go with Victor then. If you have any questions when I'm reading through the documents, I can ask you. Me, a Moogle in this game? No, that's my phone's notification, it's a Moogle. When I get a message on like Discord or an email or something, it makes a Moogle noise. I'm sorry. I can move my phone. If I have any questions when I'm reading through documents, I can ask you. Here, I'm gonna set my phone on my little table so it's not making noise. Sure, I'll be glad to help you out. I'll do my best. I leave the others behind and enter one of the rooms along the main hallway. You got Magnet! I do have Magnet. The room is filled with books, documents, piles of paper all stacked up and crammed anywhere they can fit. There's so much here. Did my father leave all this behind? Victor grabs some nearby documents and begins reading through them. He has an exaggerated reaction to everything around him and is completely engrossed with what he finds. Amazing! These unpublished articles! They're all so innovative and they turn the established community on their heads. And this too! Wow, this place is amazing! What is it, Cardia? It's just, you suddenly look like a child. Sorry, this should be an important time for you and I should contain myself. It's alright, you can look through the things on your own. I'm gonna try and look for information about me. For a while we look through the documents in the room separately. I can sense that Victor's searching for something, but suddenly things fall silent. Victor, what's the matter? I found it. I peek at the documents he's holding. Facilities within London using Zicterium. Use of Zicterium within plans for large-scale international terrorism. Zicterium? My hand automatically reaches for my chest. Victor had told me before that the gem in my chest, the Horologium, may be a form of Zicterium. Use of Zicterium for terrorism. What does this mean? There's only one thing that they'd use it for. Zicterium has the potential to become the worst weapon created by mankind. What? Zicterium is a powerful poison used in the Vampire War 2 years ago. It creates a deadly fog, killing everyone. But even then, the amount of Zicterium used was only a small portion of the amount created. A massive amount went missing. Of course, Queen Victoria began several converted efforts to find the missing Zicterium, but it was never found. Then, where is it now? A proposal for an effective way to spread Zicterium as a weapon. After the war, most of the Zicterium would be stored at... I hope you didn't hear my phone go off in the back. It's just as I thought. The Zicterium is somewhere here, in this city. Victor begins searching through the papers more desperately than ever before. Where is the Zicterium being kept? Victor, calm down! He's beyond the realm of desperation, and for a split second he even looks like he's gone mad. This is completely different from his usual peaceful self. And then, hey! Victor! Cardia! It's time for us to get back together! Suddenly we hear Lupin calling from us from afar. It seems that we spent more time here than we realized. And the voice seems to restore Victor's calm, and he stills his hands and looks over at me awkwardly. I'm sorry I lost control there. It's alright. Do you want to go back to the others? Victor and I head for the room's exit. Zicterium, a weapon, and Victor's reaction to it. I feel an undeniable swirl of darkness begin to stir within my heart. Oh no! After a while... By the time we return to the hallway, the others are already there. Now then, why don't we present what we found? Sounds good. I'll start then. Hold up. Lupin looks at the ceiling. Damn, I was right about having a bad feeling. A narrow underground passageway. It's good that they're only coming from one direction, but this is still bothersome. Can I skip this? Or yes, okay, I can skip this. This is just where the guys come in. Twilight comes in, they're like, oh, we're gonna get you! And they turn off the lights. Impy screams. People are like, oh, it's not that bad. Just run for the door. You'll be fine. And we go with the count, and then we lose the count, and it's like, ah, shoot, now I'm alone. Then we get to the door, okay. Once again, I'm surrounded by darkness and silence, and then, the door! Once being completely inside, the door slams shut behind me. I rush over to try and open it, but it's secured closed and doesn't budge at all. Where am I? Don't you remember? This is your most important place, sister. A voice echoes from the darkness, a cheerful yet cold voice that instills fear in those who hear it. A faint light appears in the gloom, and standing in that light is... this jerk! Good evening. We meet again, sister. Finis! It's pouring rain outside. Are you alright? Your poison isn't water soluble, but it still may make you unwell. My breath catches in my chest. Venus, the leader of Twilight, he commands the entire organization. Riku's favorite area because it's scary. Oh, it's spooky, yeah. I already knew that already, but I didn't think that he would show up in person. Why are you here? Don't look so scared. What's the matter? Am I that frightening? I think I make a very cute little brother. He chuckles to himself. Venus continues without losing his smile. Why am I here? There's only one reason. Because I'm the one who lured you to this place. What? Best CG. It certainly took long enough. I'd almost given up hope that you would ever reach this place. But I'm so glad you're here. I was beginning to worry that I overestimated the abilities of Lupin and his group. Venus continues to talk as I stand there stunned. After that incident on the train, we desperately sought to find where you were. You're just gonna go into the normal text. Yeah, you're just gonna go into the normal text. I'm not gonna deal with you, Venus. Venus being a jerk. Where's Dad? Well, that's not important. You don't even know where Dad is. Yes, I do. Venus, why are you such a jerk? Oh no! Bodies! That's not good! I'm a homunculus! Oh no! I'm not a homunculus! Go away! Is it still going? It's still going! Okay. No! I slap his hand away, unable to get to my feet. I drag myself backwards. I don't get far, however. My back runs into the one of the glass tubes. You're so flustered. All of this is merely playing at being human. You understand this, don't you? Because you're a monster. Venus tugs a chain around his neck and then pulls a faintly glowing pendant from under his shirt. That glow, that color, in a flash I understand everything. The object goes along with the horologium in my chest. I have a bad feeling and I back away a few steps without thinking. Sister, I'm going to release you. His words and his expression frighten me. My body seems to understand him though and rejects him with all its might. Leave me alone! I struggle to escape, but he quickly grabs my arm. My mind is flooded with terror and I can't think of a single one of the self-defense techniques I've been taught. Some part of me seems to realize what this pendant signifies. Venus holds me down and brings the pendant close to my body. The necklace begins to emit a high-pitched ringing. At the same time, my chest begins to feel burning hot. I experienced the same feeling during the abduction attempt on the train. But the pain is orders of magnitude worse. It feels like my insides are burning up. I can't keep myself from screaming. Ah! I can't really scream. I have neighbors. You show me your true shape. A monster that can't be stopped by anyone. As if in response to the pendant shining brightly, the horologium pulses with light. The pain coursing through my bodies is so extreme that I nearly pass out. At that moment, there's a loud burst of light and sound, along with the sound of a glass shattering. God damn it! As Venus's grip on me loosens, another hand grabs me. Courtier, you her! Dexter, what are you here? What are you doing here? Everyone told me to go ahead to protect you. Victor stands to shield me from Venus and turns to face him. Ah, a flash bomb. An outdated choice, but surprising nonetheless. Dr. Frankenstein, I didn't think you could work up the courage to save my sister. Is she that important? Yes, she is important. Ah, sorry, I can't scream, we've got neighbors! I see. Are you speaking the truth? Are you sure that this isn't just for some form of atonement? Atonement? What could he be talking about? Victor doesn't answer and simply glares at Venus. I knew it. I mean, Dr. Frankenstein, my sister isn't even human. The greatest accomplishment science can achieve, an artificial life form. Her very existence is fabricated. She is a monster. Look around us, all these failures floating here. She's no different. There's no use in sympathizing with a monster like that. Shut up! Victor cuts Finis off with sharp words, which I kind of ruined. Takes out a few different test tubes and holds them threateningly. I could kill you if I wanted to. Don't get any closer to me. Nice, that desperation. Do you know that makes you look like a pretty good terrorist? Finis doesn't seem put off in the least by Victor's threat. He continues to chuckle. Finis, what do you mean to do with her? What makes you think I would answer a question like that? Finis raises his pendant as if to ridicule Victor's question. This is the key to transforming the Horologium into a superior form. It's too late, Dr. Frankenstein. It's all been set in motion. Just to the side of the pendant seizes my chest with a burning pain. Cardia! You feel it too, don't you, sister? It stirs within you, the absolute... Finis takes a step forward, laughing. Right at that moment, he gets stabbed. And then this is the same where Saint Germain's like, oh, Idea's watching you, and then kills him. And then Cardia goes into shock, understandably, from seeing a dead body. Well, another dead body. She's having a rough day. Unable to keep up with the rapid turn of events, I lean heavily against the wall. Hello, I got a knife! Saint Germain speaks in hello speech. Then I suddenly feel a piercing pain in my chest and place my hand against it. The Horologium is hot? The heat building up inside me, and I feel as though my entire body's burning. Cardia, what's wrong? Victor notices something is amiss and looks into my eyes with concern. But our priority right now is to escape. I shake my head, trying to hide the sudden heat that has seized in my body. I'm fine. Let's look for a way out. Right, but you look like you're in pain. Victor, I understand your concern, but let us respect her judgment that she is alright. First and foremost, we need to determine a method to exit this place. I understand, but you'll tell me if it gets too much, won't you? Yes, thank you. I look up and see countless versions of me that never were. They have no expressions on their faces and simply stare out blankly. For some reason, they look sad to me. What am I? If what Finis said is true, was I created by Father, then why? For what purpose was I made? Finis. I wonder if he's like me, or is he something else entirely? The only person who knows that is dead. I walk over to him and gently close his eyelids. The least I can do for him is send him off. And then, what happened? Learning the truth behind my existence, Finis' sudden death. Too much has happened all at once, and by the time we leave, my memories are a blur. Later, Lupin and the others tell me. Right after Finis' death, Twilight Forces made a strategic retreat. They left. That's normal. Probably skip through this. Cardia's sad. I make a decision. I have everything. I'm gonna leave. Cardia, don't leave. That's very dumb. Cece, look at her. She's being dumb. There's a faint pain deep in my chest. Ever since Finis touched me with that pendant he called a key, I felt a strange pain in my chest from time to time. It feels like the Horologium grows warmer. Ouch. Once the pain goes away, I look back at the mansion. Everyone, especially Victor, I won't be able to see any of them anymore. Cece, good boy! Cece's a very good boy. I love Cece. And the thought makes me sad. Cardi, I'm leaving though. The last route when I did this, I got kidnapped, but I'm going. I always enjoyed the time I spent with him. I wish he could have taught me more. Cece the good bean. It can't be helped. I need to get going. Where are you going? I thought that perhaps I was only imagining a soft voice, but I looked over and see Victor. I want a CC plushie! They have CC plushies! I saw a couple on eBay, and there's one on Goods Republic. Well, actually, no, there's a couple in Goods Republic. There's one that just has a regular CC, there's like a tissue box case, and then there's another one, a CC in a suit. Victor, what are you doing here? It's just a coincidence, but you were acting strangely, so I couldn't help but follow you. Oh. I don't know why, but it hurts to meet his gaze. I look down to avoid his eyes. Neither of us say a word. The only sound is the constant wind. If I make a run for it, I could probably escape him, but part of me wants to hear his voice. Yeah, they're very cute. Finding out the truth was too painful, wasn't it? That you're not human. That you're an artificial life. My breath hitches in my chest at these words that are thrown at me. I didn't think Victor, of all people, would strike that horrible memory. But what he says next is even a bigger shock to me. I'd always suspected as much. You're fundamentally different from a human. I knew that you were special. What? Being able to create life is a ridiculous concept. As an alchemist, I'll never be able to believe in it, but the horologium embedded in your chest, a body that can withstand that acidic poison, Isaac Beckford's daughter. Knowing all these things, and after spending time with you, I became certain of one thing. That you were unnatural, a creation. But then, Victor had known all along I wasn't human? Then how? What has he been thinking of me all this time? The thought of it makes me freeze up. I was going to keep it to myself. I thought the truth would be too painful for you to bear. You knew this whole time that I wasn't human. Yes. And did you think of me as a thing, as a monster? His eyes are so sad. Even without saying anything, it's clear to me how much he must have been struggling thinking about me. After a moment, Victor speaks softly. No, I never once thought of you as a monster. Your life was artificial, yes, but I can tell you with this certainty, Cardia. You aren't just a thing. Things don't laugh or become sad on their own accords. And you're not a monster. Monsters don't love people. But you're different, aren't you? You've considered us all your friends. You care for us. And that's why you're not a monster. You're just a kind-hearted girl. Look up at Victor. His smile, lit by the moonlight, is very kind. It's so beautiful that it almost makes me cry. Another pain in my chest. But that's a different pain. I forgot! Different from the pain of the horologium, but tiny, tiny ache. What could this be? Cardia, trust me, not a single one of us think that you're a monster. Not now, not ever. Victor reaches out his hand to me. Give me the hand! I hesitate but timidly reach out to take it. He pulls me toward him with great strength. Thank you for believing in me. He smiles the smile of one feeling true happiness from the bottom of his heart, and I feel embarrassed. The pain that Z had with me, but had a hard time realizing what it was. Yep. That's me. I'm so sorry for worrying you. I'll go back to my room now, so don't worry about me. I move away gently and put the suitcase in my other hand. What about you? If he's going back, I'd like to stay with him for a little while longer, but... Oh, I have some business in town. I'm going to be gone for a bit. What kind of business? Oh, nothing much. I just have to pick up something I forgot. Though Victor smiles as he says this, I can tell that there's a lie mixed in there somewhere. A bad feeling stirs in my chest. Man, you got a lot of things stirring in your chest, don't you, Cardia? Are you sure that you'll be alright on your own? I'll be alright alone. Either way it works. I'll be fine. I'm planning to be back by dawn, so make sure you get some sleep. Don't worry, just rest. I promise. I'll cure your poison. He says this, then leaves. And then Victor is nowhere to be seen the next morning. He doesn't come back that day, or the next, or the one after that. A wanted man! A faint wind blows through the window. I look up from reading and sigh. I thought this would help take my mind off things just a little, but I can't concentrate at all, and no matter what I do, I find myself constantly thinking about Victor. It's been several days since he disappeared. We still don't know where he went. In truth, I'd like to go looking for him too, but I've been extremely tired since the day with Finis. The day Finis died. The best thing to do right now is to rest up at the mansion until this unpleasant sensation goes away. At least that's what Lupin and everyone else have been saying, so I've been following their instructions. Suddenly I hear a knock at the door. Yes? May I come in? It's St. Germain's voice. We're not on your route. Could it be? Has Victor returned? I rush to open the door, but St. Germain is standing there by himself looking sad. I'm sorry, I don't have any good news for you. I thought you might appreciate a break, and I wanted to see if you'd like some tea. Thank you, St. Germain. Although I'm thankful for the Count's concern, I can't help but feel disappointed that there are no news of Victor. You seem very worried.
Gee, I wonder, the person's gone missing. I wonder why I'm worried.
No, I'm sure Victor knows what he's doing. He must be alright, I know it. The lady doth protest too much, methinks. St. Germain puts down his tray and takes a seat next to me.
I'm not protesting.
Now you sound like you really are trying too hard to keep up a stiff upper lip at this whole situation.
Really?
Yes, and when you've lived as long as I have, you become more sensitive to subtleties of the heart.
If I were on your route, I bet this tea would have poison it. You would be right.
It's very easy for me to tell what kind of state you're in right now.
As St. Germain smiles at me, I suddenly become embarrassed by his attention and look down. Maybe. I would honestly not be surprised.
You seem to be very concerned about Victor. May I ask why?
Gee, we're on his route. I wonder why I'm concerned about him.
But because he's a friend.
I see. A friend.
To me, it seems that there's something more to your feelings for him.
You think so? Yes, I do.
The pleasant scent from the tea that wafts over to me somehow lifts my spirits and is comforting. I think carefully before I speak, but when I do, the words pour out of me as if releasing my feelings all at once. When I talk to Victor, my heart feels at ease. It makes me want to keep talking to him. I know I'll see him soon, but it's always so painful to leave his side. Seeing him smile makes me very happy, but it also makes my chest ache a little. Am I sick? When Victor's sad or angry, it's like my emotions are riding a wave. I don't really understand why.
Did I say something funny? I apologize. No, there's nothing funny. It's very funny.
What you're feeling right now is wonderful. It's more precious than anything.
St. Germain smiles kindly.
I can't do much, but know that I'm on your side and that I am rooting for you.
Rooting? For what?
When you realize what I mean, your world will expand by one more step.
As soon as he says this, St. Germain stands up and begins clearing away the tea that he had just brought. Wait, we haven't had any yet!
It's probably too bitter to drink now. I was so engrossed in our conversation that I completely forgot to pour it.
But that's a waste!
Perhaps. But that's still no reason to force ourselves to drink awful tea. I'll go prepare a new pot. Will you wait for me? Let's make sure we get some quality tea time, with some quality tea next time around.
St. Germain smiles and leaves the room. I wait for him to return. I sit there alone, thinking about what we had just talked about earlier. And then, I realize that Victor became a very significant person in my life. Just remembering Victor's face telling me that I'm not a monster, that I'm a kind-hearted girl, makes a warm feeling spread in my heart. That's why I draw a small breath. Victor, where are you? I look out the window and whisper. It's a little too early for dinner. Everyone had returned to the mansion still without being able to locate Victor or find any clues that would lead us to Father. Van Helsing, last to return, says that he has something important to tell us and asks us to gather in the lounge for him. So, what's this big, important report? I'm kind of in the middle of making dinner for everyone. Just listen. I just got a hold of this information moments ago. Queen Victoria has called off any protection on Victor. Obviously, we're no longer under her guard either. What? From this point on, the government will be after us again, as accomplices to the most wanted terrorist, Victor Frankenstein. Can't get any more important than that, can it? Hold on, I haven't heard anything about that. Where did you get that information? I have no reason to disclose my sources. Just know that it's a certainty. This information will be publicized tomorrow, officially branding Victor along with the rest of us as criminals. But wait a minute. That means I can't go to buy machine parts or food. And we're out of salt! How very like you, Impy, to be so concerned about something so far away from the point at hand. But why is this happening all of a sudden? It's hard to believe that Queen Victoria would suddenly go back on her word so easily. Van Helsing sighs before continuing. Apparently, Victor's committed a terrorist act. In the location of Buckingham Palace, he used a poison called Zicterium. When I hear this familiar word, my body tenses up. Zicterium, an early form of the horologium in my chest. Victor had told me about its use as a weapon while we were in that underground laboratory. Zicterium? It's an experimental poison that was used during the Vampire War. Used during the war. Some sort of terrible legacy. Van Helsing nods in response. I don't have all the details yet, but there have been at least 20 deaths. Many are still unconscious. Why he was in possession of a poison used during the war, and why he decided to take such action. These questions remain, but we can't deny that it happened, and that Victor is the main suspect. Victor would never do something like that! I'm pretty sure that's the right one, but just in case I'm gonna say it because we're now on his route. Because Victor's a good boy. He wouldn't poison people. Victor would never do something like that! The force of my outburst surprises everyone, even myself. I'm sorry for shouting, but I can't bring myself to believe that Victor would do something like that. I agree. I don't think anyone here actually believes Victor did it. No way, Victor's too nice to do something that horrible. He's a man who would sit on the couch for hours simply because Cece fell asleep on him. He'd never do something like this. I mean, that's mood. That's me with my doggo. I don't move if she sits on me. We all agree that there's no way Victor can be the perpetrator. But we still don't know that truth. We'll need to watch out for the yard in the eyes of the public again tomorrow. That's when it happens. Hello? Suddenly my chest begins to feel warm, and then in an instant the heat grows to be unbearable. Ah! The gem of my chest feels red hot molten iron. I grab my chest and fall to my knees. Victor, when Cece sits on him, well, I live here now. Cardia? The heat and the pain take my breath away. But then after 10 seconds or so, it all disappears as if nothing had happened. Summary since I was kidnapped by Mom. Oh, okay. So the summary basically is that, when we met with Victor at night, he said he had to go pick up something and he'd be back by morning, and like 3 or 4 days have passed. He's still not back. So Cardia was depressed, talked with Saint Germain, and Saint Germain was kind of like, ha, you're in love. And she's like, wait, what? And then Van Helsing shows up and he's like, yo, I got some news for you. Victor apparently used Zicterium, and like 20 people are dead and some other people are unconscious.
And everyone's kind of like, wait, that doesn't sound like Victor at all. And they're like, okay, so we need to be careful because the police and then all the public are going to be after us starting tomorrow because they're going to make it publicly that we're all criminals. And then we were also talking about we don't think Victor could do it because Cece could fall asleep on him and he wouldn't move at all because he would feel too bad about it. And that's the summary. That's basically everything that happened. What did I hit?
I'm fine. I just got a little dizzy. What just happened? As I ponder this, I look down at my chest where the horologium is within me, and I notice something for the first time. Faintly, ever so faintly, the horologium is pulsing with a light and steady, continuous rhythm. I can hear the sound of a clock ticking. After that, I go back to my room. Well, after all that, I go back to my room. The light from the horologium and my body. Ever since that encounter with Finnis in the lab, my body is definitely changing. Has definitely changed. I have a feeling that these changes aren't things to be happy about. But showing the horologium to a doctor probably won't solve anything. Victor. Perhaps it's because I'm worried about my condition or because I want to see his face again. I call it his name, not fully understanding why. Because they all saw that I was physically unwell, everyone besides me, even Deli, had gone into town to look for Victor. Cece would usually be by my side at times like these, but he doesn't show himself. Perhaps he got his own way of thinking to do. I look up at the ceiling in a daze, lost in thought. I am an artificial life, a homunculus created by my father. I'm not human. I'm a man-made monster. Oh, this sucks.
To be honest, the CC thing is me with any taco.
Yep! I have a sudden urge to see Victor's face. Victor, who had a kindly smile and said that I was just a normal girl. I really want to see him. I don't know how long it's been. There's no telling when he'll come back. I'm alone at the mansion. I lay down on the bed to get some rest, but perhaps in my anxiousness that keeps me from getting any slumber. I know that I should make my physical condition a priority, but I can't stop thinking about Victor. Hi boy, what's up? Ever since we met, Victor seemed to be hiding something from everyone, especially me. And I had thought that he was hiding the fact that I was a homunculus. Victor had said that he didn't tell me about that because he didn't want to hurt my feelings. But was that really all? This is just a hunch, but I feel like Victor is still hiding something from me. Maybe his secret is directly related to where he is now. I'm gonna check out Victor's room. I know that it's rude to invade someone's privacy without their permission, but my concern for his well-being trumps my regard for, property. Sorry, Victor, I'm coming in. I know he's not there, but I apologize before stepping into Victor's room. The room is dark, but the moon shines in. It smells a little bit like Victor in here. I'm embarrassed to be thinking this and to try to clear my mind of such thoughts. I start to search for clues about where he might be, and that's why I'm here. There's no time to let my thoughts wander. There's so much paper! There are open suitcases on the floor and tall stacks of documents on his desk. I slowly look through everything but find nothing. Moreover, there aren't many documents written in English, so I can't tell what most of them say. I continue digging through everything, although I feel guiltier by the moment. And then, finally, I discover something that might be a clue. This is... While the majority of the documents here are loose paper, I see one leather-bound book buried among everything. Maybe it's a journal. I flip through the pages, but most of it is a formula that I don't really understand, along with some technical terms. I see some notes in Victor's handwriting here and there, but nothing significant. Nothing here either. As I sit there disappointed, a single sentence catches my eye. The moment I understand its meaning, my mind goes blank. What does this mean? The book slips from my hands and I'm too distracted to be bothered to pick it up. It's a single sentence in the corner of the page. It reads, "It's my fault Cardia was created."
I leave Victor's room and rush back to my own, almost as if fleeing from the words. I lay on the bed and try to calm down. Suddenly the words flood into my mind. Victor created me? Does this mean Victor's my father? Is Victor Isaac Beckford? That's impossible. Victor is still young. There's no way he could have had a daughter at my age. Choco! But that probably doesn't mean anything. I'm not a real human. I might not actually be as old as my appearance would suggest. In the remote chance that Victor actually is my father, that would mean that he's been lying to us this entire time. If it's true, what could he have been thinking while he was pretending to help us? My thoughts shut off. There is no way Victor is my father. He couldn't have been tricking me this whole time. I want to believe that, but what do those words mean? My thoughts are all jumbled and I sigh with a heavy heart. I hear a sound coming from the window. What could it be? I stand up and look outside. I see a rock wrapped in paper sitting on the outer windsill. I pick it up, careful not to drop it. Something's written on the paper. I enjoy her first thing being, "Oh, beef, is he my dad, Cardia?" It's Victor's handwriting! I quickly look out the window, but there's no one out there. He must have already left. I feel discouraged, but I look down at the letter. I can't blame her, I really can't. I need to tell you something important. There's a traitor among us. I need to talk to you tonight. I'll be waiting at Tower Bridge. I want you to come without telling anyone. I'm so glad. I hold the paper to my chest, feeling above all else relief and happiness that he's alright. Tower Bridge? What Victor wrote, could he mean that there's a traitor among us? Normally I wouldn't take these words at face value and would ask the others, but everyone else is gone from the mansion. Saint Germain! What should I do? I close my eyes, thinking hard for a few seconds. I'll go alone. Wow! I wonder who it is. It's Impy. Of course it's Impy. I'll leave a note just in case and exit the room. It's totally not Saint Germain. I wish it was Impulse. It can't be him, no. I walk through the night into the city and arrive at Tower Bridge. The moon is very bright tonight, making the darkness of the shadows stand out a bit. The streets are deserted at this time of night. It's a world apart from the bustle of the day. Bustle during the day. Victor, I'm here. It's me, Cardia. My voice gets sucked up into the sky, up towards the wavering moon. Victor, where are you? I call out to him several times, but I get no response. Yes! Oh no, you figured me out! How could I? Something's wrong. I suddenly noticed a figure standing in the shadows behind a pillar. Victor, why are you hiding there? Oh no! But by the time I'm aware what's going on, it's too late. Several more figures appear out of nowhere and surround me. They slowly advance and I notice that they're all wearing the same eerie mask, the one Ruko likes. Twilight, what are you doing here? These soldiers were all mobilized just for you, Cardia. The person is in the shadow of the pillar. The person I thought was Victor steps out in the moonlight. You're... Oh no, it's Moriarty! The cool soldiers. Jimmy A. Alistair. I'm a commander of sorts within Twilight. We've met before. Just once, briefly. No, we had the whole thing with you. It all comes back to me when I saw him on the train when we boarded. When we tried to kidnap Finis. Where is Victor? Sorry, don't get your hopes up. The note was actually from me. Though I suppose forging his handwriting wasn't at his touch. Oh, the asshole. Did your man hide in the shadow, have a mask, and come out in a group that ain't Victor? That's Twilight! This is a trap of yours? It's a rather simplistic way to put it. But yes, I was so certain that you'd bring your friends. You need to be more cautious. Finis is already dead. What does Twilight want with me? That's a very good question. Finis died thanks to your lot, and Twilight no longer has any reason to pursue you. But at the same time, we're under the direction of a new organization. One much more larger, and much more deeply sinful. A sinful organization? And the leader of this organization has told me to bring you to them. That's why I lured you all the way out here. You have a lot of difficult friends. Considering our losses in the past, I wanted to avoid a head-to-head conflict. Who are you working for? And why are you after me again? Come with us if you want to know the answers. You'll find who's behind us in no time. Oh no, they're sliding in! As to make Alistair's words a reality, the soldiers slowly close in on me. I quickly go through my resistance options, but I'm unable to come up with anything effective against this many enemies. I can't flee or fight, just as despair begins to creep in. Cardia! A flash of light blinds everyone, and a blast of sound assaults my body, shaking me to the core. I shut my eyes just in time, and someone grabs my arm. With the roaring noise and the dizzying lights, it's hard to resist. Let's make a run for it! Follow me! That voice! Is that you, Victor? That's right, I came here to save you. He grabs my arm as we run, and then he lifts me up into his arms. Is your noodle arms? Victor! Hold on tight so I don't drop you. I'm taken back by Victor's unexpected strength and can only cling to him. Oh, how nice of you to make such a dramatic entrance. Men don't let them escape. The Twilight soldiers begin to move once in response to his order. We need to get away as quickly as possible. I think Victor has the same idea, but... What? Victor turns an unexpected direction, not towards the end of the bridge, but over to the side. Victor, why are we going that way? Take a deep breath, here we go. He leaves, jumping off the handrail, still carrying me in his arms. We fly through the air. I feel helpless as the ground vanishes from beneath us, replaced by water. I cling tightly to him with all my might. For a brief moment I see desperation on his face in the moonlight as I look up. At the same time, bullets begin to chase us from down from the bridge. He grimaces for a second. What could have happened? Before I ask... We hit the dark, cold water from the river. In the darkness I feel Victor gently take my hand and start swimming, guiding me forward. I thought I'd never see him again. There's so much I want to ask him, but right now, I mustn't let go of his hand. Are you my dad? I start swimming, determined to hang on. Are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. After that, we continue swimming, going along the river's current. After some time, Victor's strength begins to flag. When he runs out of energy, I start pulling him forward on my own. I continue to swim, swim, and swim. Sometime later, we finally pull ourselves to shore. Where are we? We've drifted a good distance by now. Tower Bridge should be long behind us. But if we stay in one spot for too long, Twilight will surely catch up with us. Victor, how are you feeling? I know you're tired, but let's try and take cover in the forest. Yeah, good plan. Let's do that. Victor stands up unsteadily. Victor, are you alright? Do you need to lean on my shoulder? What's the matter? It's getting hard to tell who's saving whom at this point. That's not true. You're the one saving me. I'm so glad you came. Thank you so much. That's not what I mean. I was just thinking, it's very comforting to have you concerned about me. Victor smiles and starts walking. We find a place to hide for a moment and let our bodies rest for a while before we set off on a serious escape. Our clothes are soaking wet, so we need to dry them off with ease. The break helps Victor regain his strength as well. I put some of Lupin's lessons into avoiding capture into actual use and we continue walking in silence. Being extra cautious, I wait until I'm completely sure that we've lost Twilight before coming to a stop. Wow, you've really got those expert Twilight trackers off our backs. I'm amazed. I'm the one who's amazed. Huh? I didn't think you were the sort of person to take such risks. There's no telling what Twilight would do if they caught you. You're right. I was just surprised at how my body moved on its own. On its own? Why? Who knows? For a split second, the words written on the corner of his journal crossed my mind.
I brush these thoughts away and clear the fog inside my head. Victor, thank you for saving me. I couldn't have done anything on my own. And Victor, I'm so glad you're safe. What were you doing all this time? Okay, I'm pretty sure the affectionate one is the top one, so we're gonna go with that. Oh my god, buddy, you're safe. I'm so glad you're safe. Did I say something wrong? I was really worried about you. Oh, no, hearing that makes me happy. I'm sure you have a lot of questions, such as why I suddenly disappeared. But your concern about my well-being above all else makes me extremely happy. Of course I am! You're important to me and everyone else too. We're friends! I know, thank you. Good! Look at this good boy. Me stupid. No, you're not! There's so much I want to say to him when I ask him about. And we must talk about the journal too. But any questions I have vanish when I notice a red stain on Victor's abdomen. Victor? Is that blood? Oh, it's nothing. Just a scratch from when we were making a run for it earlier. You got shot? Is that why you weren't doing so well? Hold on, I'll give you some first aid. Whoa, wait. No, you don't get to wait. Sit your butt down while we fix you up. I lean Victor against the tree, take off his white lab coat, and then gently lift up his shirt to see the area under the bloodstain. You're hurt! There's so much blood! Your sweater is ruined! I'm fine. It looks like a big deal, but it's actually not that bad. I'll stop the bleeding! Hold on! I tear some cloth from my shirt and put the pressure on the wound. That's how you stop the severe bleeding. This is something Victor taught me before. It's fine, the wound isn't too deep. Once I treat you, let's go back to the mansion. Yes, you're right. It's not deep, so relax a little. What? When administering first aid, compose yourself and stay calm as possible. Isn't that what I taught you? Right now, you're much more upset than I am. But seeing you so concerned about me makes me happy. Thank you so much. Thank you for worrying about me. I'm a terrible person who doesn't deserve that consideration. Why would you call yourself terrible? I take the cloth I was using to apply pressure and wrap it around the wound like a bandage. Victor slowly composes himself. Thank you for the treatment. I have to go. Go? Where are you going? Listen, Cardia, I'm not the one responsible for the gas attack on the palace. That was someone else. It's the same thing that happened this time. Somebody mobilized Twilight in order to come after us. Victor speaks quietly while looking at me directly in the eyes. I would have thought that Finnis was the one behind this, but he's dead. Who would try to get Victor arrested on false grounds and capture him, along with me? I think... Oh, sorry. Let me just take the sheets. Thank you. No, it's fine! I think hard, but the only person who fits that bill is Finnis, who should be dead. I don't know just yet who's giving those orders, or what they hope to gain from it. But I do know one thing, if this continues, more lives will be lost in more terrorist attacks. What do you mean? Do you remember when we found that underground lab, use of Zicterium for terrorism? The plans were written there are about to become a reality. The incident at the palace was probably a precursor to it. The reason I left the mansion is because there is something I had to look into regarding it. Sorry I didn't tell you. I see. Since I don't have any concrete evidence, this may be a premature move. But I'm going to speak directly to Victoria and inform her of the dangers of terrorism. I sense a strong determination in his eyes, as if what he says is true, is serious. It's serious. This needs to be brought up to Queen Victoria's attention as soon as possible. Why don't we go back to the mansion for now, and then we can all... No, you're the only one who can go back. Twilight knows where the mansion is now, right? Then you should let everyone know that you all have to leave as soon as you can. What will you do then? I'm going straight to Buckingham Palace. If I'm going to take action, the sooner I do, the better. You can't! I heard from Van Helsing that the government thinks of you as a terrorist again. It's dangerous!
If the government is only after me, I'll be fine. In Victoria's eyes, the knowledge I have is worth more than a life. But I have to go, to atone from the past I fled from. I don't know exactly what he means, but something from the words feels like rejection. Victor begins to walk away, though, through the forest. Wait, before I can call out to him, I hear a familiar voice from the shadow of a tree. Come on now, are you thinking of taking off on your own again? Lupin, what are you doing here? This lady here left a note for us. All I had to do was track you down. I heard what you said. I'm looking into the terrorist plot that you mentioned too. I'm going to investigate this with you. You're an official member of the Lupin gang. Your problems are our problems. What, you think we're not good enough? Who are you calling the Lupin gang? Van Helsing! I like how she only brings up Van Helsing. I don't recall joining any kind of gang with you. Don't spread lies about me, gentleman thief. Hey, there you are! Ugh, I can't believe you went and disappeared on us while we were looking for Victor! Whatever the case, I'm glad you both are alright. So, what now? Sounds like we don't have a place to hide anymore. Oh. Think it over, Victor. Darn! You told me to start relying on my friends more. You said to ask you anything because nothing is too much trouble. I was about to say no, Impy. I'm sorry, Choco. One of these days we'll be free of him. Let me say the same to you. You're a friend. You can rely on us. You can cause as much trouble as you want. Our eyes meet and for a few seconds pass in silence. Then, all right. I'm a little hesitant of dragging you all on a personal matter, but I really would be reassuring if you could all help me. With Victor's admission, it seems like all the tension drains out of the air. By the way, Victor, it looks like the bounty on your head's going to be skyrocketing. Maybe I should turn you in myself. You'd be arrested along with him as an accomplice. Thank you, everyone. I really don't deserve all your concern. Well, just doesn't feel right to desert you after all we've been through, that's all. I turned to look at Victor, who was smiling. Is something wrong? No, it's nothing. Victor might be my father. It doesn't seem like I'll be able to get to the bottom of this right now. Several days earlier, two figures lurk in the remains of Isaac Beckford's former underground laboratory. Bullet holes and bloodstains are everywhere. It's obvious that a battle took place here. A figure approaches the center of the room, filled with failures, and lowers its face to the floor. It carefully observes the reddish-black stain before its eyes. Finis died here. It smiles. The figure then goes to the room filled with documents. Just as Twilight had reported, it looks as if Isaac had left behind a large number of research reports here. The Royal Alchemist and oh shoot! I hit the button. The Royal Alchemist and Royal Society would likely shed tears of joy if they obtained the paper that contained in this room. However, the room's visitor shows no interest in any of the scientific work and picks up a book of unrelated information. It reads a few pages from the book and smiles once more. The knowledge from this book, combined with what they already know, allowed them to figure out what Isaac and Finis were after. In any case, the figure thinks to itself, we could use this plan to prepare for everything that is about to be set in motion. Not for Isaac or for Finis. Everything is solely for Britain. Chapter 10, The British Queen. Regarding the recent string of incidents, as we predicted, it looks like sitting back and observing is not an option for us. Victor looks around at us as he speaks. We're in a cheap apartment in the poor part of town. This is one of Lupin's many hideouts located throughout London. St. Germain's mansion is no longer safe now that Twilight knows about it. We've decided that it would be best to take Deli and Cece with us and move to this apartment. I'll explain from the very beginning. I can go over what I've learned from the hidden lab and sort sort the situation out. First, Twilight was planning a large-scale terrorist attack. This is the same plan that Lupin was working to prevent. And this plan calls for the use of the powerful poison known as Zicterium. The poison that was used in the Vampire War.
Go to my room. Oh, for that. Okay. Thank you.
Correct. It created huge losses for the vampires and made their defeat a decisive one. Before, Victor had seemed different, desperate when the subject of Zicterium had come up. I wonder if he's connected to the poison. Unfortunately, I had yet to get to the bottom of exactly the use of Zicterium fits into their plan, but considering the incident that took place in Buckingham Palace the other day, it's very likely that it was the first step in their plot to use Zicterium to carry out an attack. How do you know that? I was looking into the incident right before I found her. The use of Zicterium is exactly the same as the plans I had found in the underground lab. It's an extremely efficient method of dispersal that limits its range and duration of effectiveness. It would be difficult for a third party to obtain information from a facility that was under Finis' control. Meaning, it's only natural to assume that Twilight is proceeding ahead of whatever plans they have. Is that your logic? Hold on a moment. Capturing her is a key part of the terrorist plot, at least according to the information I found. I was wondering about that too. It seemed that Finis saw significant value in me. It feels strange to say this about myself, but don't they need me before they can do anything in their plan? Whoa, hold on. Isn't Finis dead? How can his plan even be going on ahead right now? There are a few other people that should have command over Twilight. We shouldn't rule out the possibility that he is alive. The more I think about it, the less I understand. There's no question that Finis breathed his last breath in the laboratory. Twilight is still after us. It's also under leadership of a mysterious new commander, as Alistair had mentioned. This, along with the incident at Buckingham Palace, supposedly using Zicterium. More of my questions keep piling up, but there's no clear answer to any of them, and we all fall silent. This terrorist attack must be stopped at all costs. All of Europe is performing a political balancing act. If the attack becomes a reality, war is inevitable. A worldwide war. So much would be lost, not just lives, but culture, civilization, and the history carved into the land. I don't have the words to imagine it. But I know the countless tragedies and tears that will swallow London up. I'm thinking of appealing directly to Victoria in regards to this matter. But Victor, you're a wanted criminal. How can you go directly to the Queen in this state? He's done it before. It's the same when he went and forced the Queen to declare us protected by the Crown. Impy sits back down with a bemused expression on his face. I know this will be dangerous, but she's an excellent leader. When she finds out about this, I know she will take action. It's easy for you to say, but another direct negotiation won't be so easy. You'd best be prepared to go to prison for this. Victor, is that true? More or less. If we don't stop this terrorist attack using Zicterium, thousands of lives could be lost. My being imprisoned isn't insignificant in the grand scheme of things. I agree with the parts of what you say. Why don't we start by going over the ideal scenario? We take this information and go to Victoria, and you don't go to jail. If that's the best, let's aim for that. Deli stirs from where he'd been sitting next to Lupin. He sighs exaggeratedly. Are you all dunces? Deli? This is Buckingham Palace you're talking about. The center of London, and all of Britain for that matter. Even I understand the significance of this place. Charging in to meet with the Queen with our small group is simply foolishness. Deli's extremely calm. It's true, we're making plans to enter the residence of the country's ruler using brute force. It won't be easy. But no, if you're willing to help me, I will make it happen. Are you serious? Everyone in this room is the best at what they do. With our abilities combined, we can do this. Ah, 2 direct conversations with a nation's queen with such frequency. This must be some kind of record. If it's what the Victor really wants, I'll help. That queen makes me a little uneasy, though. Finis left this plan behind. Fine. Whether he's alive or dead, I'll crush each and every one of his schemes. So I suppose it's settled. Operation Royal Audience Part 2 is begun. You're all reckless. Victor slowly shakes his head at Deli, who looks as if we've all gone mad, and then he says with some vehemence, "No, it's not being reckless. It's called trust." Huh, says the guy who's about to go at it alone without telling any of us about it. You got me there. After that, as we're putting our new plan together, I catch a moment with Victor as he's not engaged in conversation. Victor, there's something I want to ask you. Victor tilts his head to the side as I try and find the right words to tell him about the recent changes to my body. Lately the horologium has been acting strangely, and I'm not feeling too well because of it. What? Why did you keep something so important from me? Well, I'm fine now, but I thought I should let you know since you've been examining my conditions. I need to take a look at you right away. Victor leaves his seat and takes my arm. I've never seen him this aggressive. I'm surprised, but at the same time, his serious expression makes me happy. After that, I found myself somewhere I didn't expect. He said he wanted to examine me, so I thought we would be a quick check in a different room. Oh, I can't believe it! Victor sounds surprised as he fishes through his belongings. He said that last night when we moved from the mansion to the poorer part of town, he left his medical equipment behind. Because of this, we had to return to the mansion after only 1 day of being away. We go around the back and run in through the courtyard. Luckily, there's no sign of Twilight. Van Helsing is accompanying us as a guard. I can't believe you'd forget something like that. I'll be right here. Hurry up and get whatever it is you need over with. Ugh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry too. Just go. Don't waste too much time. After that, Victor sits in front of me with a serious expression. Can you tell me how you've been feeling lately? It's not a constant thing, but sometimes the horologium gets really hot. It gets hot? And it glows like a rhythm or a wave, and then it spreads the heat and pain spread all the way through my body from there. Has this been happening ever since Finis touched you with that pendant? I can't tell if Pepper is barking because the mailman came by or she saw some neighbors. Hold on. I think she saw some neighbors walking past the window and wanted to bark at them. It's okay, Pepper! I think back to the events from when we went into the underground facility. When Finis pressed the red pendant against me, the horologium let off a blinding light as my body underwent some kind of change. It's exactly as Victor says. Yes, that's when it started. I see. Your face appears to be more flushed than usual. Is it a fever? No. Maybe it's just the setting sun. Does the horologium feel any different right now? I don't think so. Though I do feel a little bit feverish. Forgot. I don't know why, but oh my god, I forgot. She gets like it really bad with Victor. I don't know why, but when I look at Victor, I feel the heat build up even more inside me. Could it be that the changes to the horologium are becoming latent? Hardy, could you show me your chest? I'd like to take a look at the horologium itself. What's the matter? He examined me so many times before.
So why do I feel embarrassed to reveal to myself to Victor right now? I think if I do I don't know, you get a nervous one. I don't honestly remember what the right choice is here. We'll see. It's fine. We'll just do both and we'll see which one's the better option. I don't know. Why? I'm a little embarrassed. When I say this, Victor. Okay, I think this is the right one. When I say this, Victor's face turns bright red. Well, why would you say that? I'm just taking a look at you as a doctor, and I know to fulfill my duty as an alchemist, you know. My consciousness is completely clean. What was that pause for? Nothing! Let's just get this examination started, alright? At Victor's prompting, I reluctantly reveal myself. You don't even have to reveal it much, that you could just pull it down to your collarbone. That's not that much. Victor's looking away. The nerd. Yeah, you're not even really showing that much. You're just showing him your collarbone. Victor, you can't examine me if you don't look in my direction. Yeah, I know that, of course. So what's the matter? It just became a little self-conscious because of what you mentioned. Neon cheeks turn red in response. But it would be nice if you'd consider my feelings too. What do you mean? I'm the one showing myself to you, so it's way more embarrassing for me. Oh, right. I'm sorry. That's strange. We were both completely fine with this when we first met. This is probably your fault because you're so... So what? Nothing at all. I think it's your fault. Why is that? I want to say. Victor's face gets even redder and I'm not sure what to do anymore. We're both nerds. No, we need to do this. It's very important I examine you. Victor says this with a determined air and looks down at my chest once again. There doesn't seem to be any visible changes. Victor stares at the horologium. He has a serious look on his face. It's the gaze of a doctor or an alchemist. Victor's usually very mellow and people tend to get their way with him, but he's probably in his element now. I look up at his face, lit by the setting sun. At the same time, I feel the weight of possibility that he might be my father, which would be kind of awkward. You just flat out ask him right there, hey, while we're sitting here, you my dad? Eventually Victor raises his gaze and smiles kindly at me. Well, I think you're fine. You don't have to worry, but I'm still concerned about your condition, so let me know right away if anything changes. Also, try to stay close to me, so I can take care of you right away in case something happens. I won't leave your side anymore. Alright. That makes me feel much better. Victor won't leave me again. I'm surprised at how happy this makes me. Hey, Victor? I have an urge to ask him right now. Even if Victor is my father, there must be some reason behind it. I decided it would be best to trust Victor instead of wondering about it alone. I want to hear the truth from him. What is it, Cardia? Or maybe not. Never mind, it's nothing. I can't bring myself to ask that. I worry that the moment I discover Victor really is my father, the sweet yet painful emotion in my heart would vanish into thin air. Yeah, normally when you hear that kind of thing, it kind of does put a damper on things. A few days later, we're watching Buckingham Palace from afar. The bee soldiers. The area around the main gate is packed with soldiers. There must be even more guards inside. This does appear to be quite a puzzler. We won't know what'll happen until we try. The sewer line Lupin told us about will take us all the way to under the palace. Once we're ready, let's make our move. I'll do my best. An hour later, we arrive in the back alley to the city. Our goal is the sewer system. During the London reconstruction, the sewers underneath London were optimized to strengthen public infrastructure. There's a path leading them to one corner of an alley, and these sewer lines obviously spread like a network throughout the city, even underneath Buckingham Palace itself. We've gone with Lupin's
Recommendation to use the sewers as our way to enter the palace. We soon find the entrance to the sewer in the dark corner, just as Lupin had described. Hopefully we don't find Jack the Ripper down there again. We nod to each other and use the key given to us to slowly enter. We hear the sound of briskly flowing water and the occasional drip. It's strange to think of all the life and excitement of London is right above our heads. We light the lantern that Victor had prepared for us and advance slowly. Victor holds the lantern as I read the map and compass, and we make our way through the tunnels. The eerie sound of our footsteps echoing brings out the eeriness of the sewers. Why don't we go over the plan again? He whispers as we walk. Basically, you and I are the only ones going in, right? Exactly. Lupin and the rest will help with preparations and are standing by to aid us if something arises. Victor and I are the only ones who'll be infiltrating the palace. There are a number of reasons why Victor and I are deemed the most suitable for this task. It's far easier to avoid enemies' eyes if there's fewer of us entering. Victor is obviously a scholar, and I am a woman. Yeah, you are. That might help us look less threatening and lower the enemy's guard. Victor is the most suited for negotiating since Victoria is after him personally, and everyone already believes that the two of us are villains anyway. Just like Delhi said, where we're heading is what became the center of the British rule after Father came into the picture. I've noticed I've been breathing shallower, perhaps from this extreme pressure. Buckingham Palace. I don't think it'll be an easy feat to meet with the Queen. There's no question we'll be captured on request to meet with her head-on. We won't be using the Anthropometer like we did last time we spoke to Queen Victoria. This is because she's normally within the palace itself. That means that there will be no point in blindly breaking into the palace. This time will be ideally by entering unnoticed and meeting with her in secret. We already know the Queen's schedule thanks to the information from Lupin. Today there will be a period of time which she will be alone in the throne room. We'll try and catch her and go in for some quality negotiation time. Lupin really is amazing. He knows the Queen's schedule, how to enter the palace, even the guards' patrol routes. Where does he get it? Lupin is a mysterious man. Maybe he was planning on eventually sneaking into the palace on his own at some point. You can't get any more bold than that. We don't have any right to judge him, though. We're going to be doing the same bold thing ourselves. Victor nods and then stops. The opening that Lupin had mentioned is right above our heads. Do you think this is it? It's definitely a strange hole. I'm sure it's this one. We look around and find a ladder extending up into the darkness. Victor takes out his pocket watch and checks the time. How are we doing? We've still got about 5 more minutes. According to Lupin, if we exit the sewer at a certain time, we'll be able to pass through unnoticed. 5 minutes. It's short, but it feels like a very long time. We wait, doing nothing in particular. Perhaps it's because I'm nervous, but I feel my anxiety growing stronger. I need to calm down as I'm thinking this. Victor gently takes my hand. It'll be alright. I'll protect you. Thank you. From what place in his heart are these words coming from? Is it because I'm an important friend? Is it because he made me? What am I doing? I'm happy, yes, but these questions do cross my mind. Almost makes me think that Lupin is the Queen's son. I can tell you right now, Lupin is not the Queen's son. Shall we go? Very well. We slowly climb the ladder, which Victor is taking the lead. My mind wanders for a moment, and I think about what would happen if he were captured by the government. What do they want Victor to do for them? What knowledge of his are they after? What if the secret information he guards must be put into action? If that were to happen, what will become of Victor? What will become of the government? Right, everything looks good. Follow me outside. Yes. I start climbing the ladder again, following Victor, who's gone ahead of me to observe what was going on outside. Once we're outside, I notice that we have made our way into the palace grounds, and at the same place we've landed when we stormed the palace on the Anthropometer. The breeze here feels good compared to the depressing humidity of the sewer. Alright, everything's going as planned so far. It looks like there's a gap in their security right here. The night is still and dark around us, and as Victor says, I don't see any guards nearby. Moments later, we huddle together in a spot in the shadow provided by a tree. Right, then let's begin the actual infiltration. Are you ready? Yes. I nod and Victor takes a small device out of his pocket. It's a simple version of the Aether communicator built by MP for us. Unlike the standard version, it can't transmit our voice, but it can inform the group of our location by using a unique frequency. Let's report back to the group first. Victor looks around cautiously, then presses the button. Instantly... Whoa! Ruby's communication device explodes with a tremendous bang and an electrical whine. Sparks fly everywhere as it bounces around. Finally, in a rising cloud of smoke, it falls silent. Could it be defective? So it would seem. Oops, my bad, guys! I can almost hear Impy say that in my head. What was that explosion? It came from the back court! It might be a terrorist! Quick, gather the others! Oh, this is bad. Let's retreat for now! Hooray! In a panic, we try and return to where we had exited the sewer. Victor Frankenstein! How dare you sneak into Her Majesty's royal home! Turn yourself in and do not resist! Waiting for us is Rem Partly and heart burning with the patriotic love for his country as usual. F you, Imp, it's always your fault. It really is. What are you doing here? I am well aware of the weakness of our guard in this particular location at this exact time of night. I was certain the Lupin gang would target this shortcoming, and I made sure to keep watch here night after night. You've been here every night, without knowing when we would attempt to come? That's dedication. My loyalty for Her Majesty knows no bounds. Now resign yourself to face justice. Oh no, he's got a sword! The moment Leonhardt finishes speaking, he swings his sword around in a vicious slash. Luckily, Victor is able to dodge it. Whoa! If that's how you want to play. He pulls out a test tube from his shirt pocket and slams it to the ground. In the next instant, there's a great blast of smoke. Victor must have been paying attention to the wind because the cloud heads straight towards Leonhardt. Now's our chance. We just have to give up on making it back to the sewer. Just run. Victor takes my hand and begin running. Leonhardt really reminds me of Steiner. He really does! Dr. Frankenstein has penetrated the palace grounds. Men, seize him at all costs! Leonhardt's roar chases after us. Oh, come on! Impy! Of all the times for you to screw up! We run to the courtyard, but it's impossible for us to avoid the guards without having any means to fight back. After a minute of minutes, we've been captured. Soon Victor and I are locked up in separate cells. I heard from Van Helsing that the palace has its own dungeon. Queen Victoria has been ordered its construction recently. She continues taking strong measures and practices nothing but extreme caution where her safety is concerned. I've heard that there's also something that makes her a strong leader. It sends a message to those around her that anyone who acts against the government will be imprisoned. Not only am I shoved into a cell, but I've been handcuffed and completely stripped of my freedom. I suppose this level of caution is inevitable, considering that I am an accomplice to a known terrorist. F you, Imp! They don't seem to know about the existence or the effects of my poison, though. Poison, huh? The word monster surfaces in my mind again. Why did he make me like this? And the note on Victor's journal. If he really is my father... Victor is my father. The words unpleasantly weigh in my mind. I hear footsteps approaching. I tense my body just a little, waiting for the person coming closer to appear. It seems you're behaving yourself. Leonhardt. It goes against my personal code to lock up a lady in a place such as this, but it's part of my job. I hope you can forgive me. What do you want from me? Well, I wanted to apologize for being rude to you. Rude?
We're the ones who broke into the palace, and it's your duty to capture us. I don't think manners are involved in this. That is the logical option. However, I am here to apologize about the past when I attempted to kidnap you. My subordinates called you a monster. Such an invective should never be directed at a lady. It's been bothering me ever since. And then that Lupin stole you away before I was able to make amends for their crass behavior. I don't mind. I think monster is an accurate term. I see. Did you come here just to apologize? No. I want the truth from you. I'll be speaking with Dr. Frankenstein after this for his version of the facts. What exactly are his plans for being here in London? I don't know. There's no way that Victor could have committed an act of terrorism. He's a kind person. He could never kill anyone. Victor said that he wanted to stop the terrorists. How could he be responsible for... Stop the terrorists? How would he go about doing that? Something is odd here. Leonhardt leads forward slightly in anticipation after I mentioned stopping the terrorists. I don't know how exactly, but Victor would never carry out a terrorist attack. He genuinely wants to stop it. What could possibly... Would it be possible for us to speak with Victoria? I want to talk with her directly regarding the terrorist attack. Maybe that way she'll come to understand our perspective. I ask, hoping against all odds that we'll be given the chance when Leonhardt shakes his head. That's for Her Majesty to decide. I don't have the answer you're looking for. I see. If matters advance without our words reaching her, I wonder if she has the means to resolve the situation. Being the queen of a nation is such a distant concept to me. I can't even fathom what goes on in her mind. Do you trust Victoria? Do you think she can stop the terrorists? I don't understand her. The way she's treating Victor only makes it look like she's tricking everyone and forcing his hand. No, Her Majesty is trying to do what is right. She'll do whatever it takes. She is a person of great strength. Leonhardt narrows his eyes and speaks with a voice of recollection. Long ago, I was a hooligan running around in the poorest parts of town. I was forced into a life of crime to support my younger sister. I was caught pickpocketing on the day of the Queen's coronation parade. Her Majesty herself was the one who saved me from a brutal beating the guards were giving me. After hearing the kind of life I led, she gave me one of her brooches and told me to sell it for money to get by for a while. She then offered me a paying job, saying I could become a guard if I was willing. She promised me that I would strive to make this a great and prosperous nation. That was when I decided to remake my life, becoming Her Majesty's sword. Since that day, I never doubted Her Majesty as the greatest ruler there could ever be. Leonhardt's story is surprising. Victor seems to think Victoria is an enemy of sorts, but Leonhardt truly respects her. Which one of these is the real Victoria? A situation that you might find difficult to accept is awaiting you. What? But, please, I ask that you have faith in Her Majesty. She fights out of the love for her country. With this, Leonhardt bows to me before turning and leaving the dungeon. You want me to believe in Victoria? Leonhardt's voice seems to indicate that this is an earnest plea. It's difficult to tell what's going on through his mind as he spoke, but at least for now, I can't just sit and do nothing. I take a deep breath and switch mental gears. Time to put our plan into action. Getting caught, that is, getting put in the palace dungeons is one of our first steps of our plan to begin with. This is where our mission actually begins. I check to make sure that the prison guard has fallen asleep at his post, and then I gently raise my handcuffs to my lips. The chains react to the poison right away, and smoke rising from the melting metal. In a matter of minutes, the handcuffs peel away, leaving my hands free once again. At least it comes in handy in times like these. It's not difficult to escape the cell either. I gently place my index finger over the door's keyhole. Just as the handcuffs had, the area around my finger begins to melt away and slowly turns into a steel-colored mush. And then I open the door of the cell and walk out into the hallway, trying to avoid making any loud noises. The guard is still asleep. Thankfully, for my good fortune, I cautiously approach the guard and... I'm sorry!
Gah! I knock him out using just my hands, a technique Van Helsing had taught me. I take the keys from the unconscious prison guard and then lock him up in a different cell than the one I'd been held in. Then I make my advance quietly. I already know the location of where Victor is being held. I used my infiltration skills Lupin had taught me to the fullest, somehow making my way all the way there without being caught. I find Victor's cell right away. This is where things get a bit difficult. As expected, Victor's cell is heavily guarded, with 4 guards all crammed into a narrow hallway. The pressure is much higher than when I made my escape. From here, Victor and I will have to work as a team. First... Victor! I'm here to rescue you! My sudden appearance attracts the guards' attention. What? How did she? The guards start rushing towards me when something rolls by them. A button from Victor's white lab coat. It comes to a stop near the guard's feet. It then releases a blast of white smoke that instantly fills the corridor. What is this? My eyes, they're burning! Damn it, get some back up! Not gonna happen! I run between the guards in their confusion and knock them out one after another. That's everyone. Wow, you have some skills. I was only able to handle them because you distracted them. If they'd been ready for me, I probably could have only taken one. It's still amazing. I guess we have Van Helsing's training to thank for that. I give him a brisk nod. Suddenly the horologium gives off an intense heat and the pain drives me to my knees. Cardia! I'm fine. There was a flash of pain and heat, but I'm alright. I can move. There's no problem. Are you sure? Maybe you should head back before you overexert yourself and cause some real harm. It's true that the pain had been so unbearable that I couldn't stand, but now it's also true that I feel completely fine now. I shake off the feeling of doubt that are beginning to spread within me and look at Victor again. No, I'm fine. Let's keep moving forward. We're here to stop the terrorist attacks. Let's meet with Victoria and get her to see our side. I see. Sure, you're right. I smile and nod. I'll get you out of here. Hold on. I set him free the same way I had let myself out and melt his handcuffs. Thank you, Cardia. I'm glad we're both alright. Victor nods slightly. Shall we get going? The throne room isn't too far from here. We're finally about to accomplish our mission. Yes! If Lupin's information is correct, Victoria should be alone in the throne room right at this moment. I'm sure there will be a few guards on duty. We'll have to get past them somehow. Cardia, are you ready? I wouldn't have come this far if I wasn't ready. True enough. I try not to fall behind as Victor begins to dash down the halls and I break into a run to keep up. We finally arrive. Queen Victoria's palace throne room in Buckingham Palace. However, something's wrong. Victor's first words upon our arrival accurately described the situation. Although this was a covert operation, we were prepared to face some resistance. We arrived here without running into a single soldier. It was so trouble-free that it was as if we were being invited in. More importantly, there's no trace of Victoria, who's supposed to be here. Does this mean Lupin was misinformed? Or could it be that means somebody realized we were snooping around? I get a strange feeling. It isn't silent in here, but the sound of many people being careful to not make any noise. I suddenly get chills from an odd sensation, as if it feels as if we're being watched by a great number of eyes. All mean. All mean! I think it's supposed to say men. That's a typo. All mean! Ready your weapons! Aim! I hear a booming voice and the guards appear from their hiding places in the shadows. Leonhart! Damn it! Victor stands protectively in front of me and looks around us. It's hard to believe so many soldiers could have been hiding in here. They quickly form a half circle around us. I thought I told you to have faith in Her Majesty. I'm disappointed that it's come to this. Oh. We hear a series of footsteps that seem to shatter the tense silence in the room. It's the Queen Bee herself! The guards directly ahead of us step aside to clear a path and raise their guns in salute. Walking towards us is a commanding woman with a beautiful smile. Queen Victoria. You look so serious, Dr. Frankenstein. As per usual. And it has been some time since I saw you last, young lady. I trust you've been well.
I'm not talking to you.
Well, that's certainly an indifferent reaction to the meeting of the nation's leader. You should bow your head at least.
She chuckles as if she couldn't care less about the air of tension that permeates the room.
You've really exerted yourself this time. If only you would have stayed put, I would have paid you a visit.
I'll never do what you want me to do.
You're a funny man, Dr. Frankenstein. You've taken the exact steps I needed you to and walked right into my trap. And now I see that you've developed a sense of humor.
Ugh, how did you know we would come here?
You're a small group, but each individual is highly capable. If their partner, Dr. Frankenstein, was wrongfully accused, I'm sure that they would have taken some sort of action again. You practically crash-landed your anthropoder at the ceremony last time. I was sure you would try to reach out to me.
Well...
And if you wanted to get me alone, common sense would dictate that you would try to catch me when security is low. I'm sure you've realized by now that my schedule, that I would have been here alone today, as bait to lure you here.
She smiles at us calmly. However, our panic only grows when we're faced with the current crisis.
And, are we discussing the same matters again? You'd like to have your status as wanted criminals revoked?
I'd like to talk about that too, but there's a more pressing concern at the moment.
So, what have you to say that's so important that you're willing to risk being caught for a capital offense?
Exactly.
Are you trying to get revenge against me?
That's not why I'm here. It's something bigger, something that involves all of Britain.
All of Britain, you say?
Victoria's mood takes a noticeable shift.
Well, she said,
Well, she had been mostly ethereal, cryptic, and seeming above us all. Suddenly she is as sharp as a naked blade. Such is the force of her gaze. Everyone here is a loyal soldier who serves me, and I am truly concerned for the well-being of this nation. I'll listen to what you have to say. Tell me, what is it that you've come all this way to discuss? She gestures to Victor, indicating that he should speak now. The pressure of the room is still intense, as if to remind us that the wrong word or move could get us shot at any second. Twilight is progressing a large-scale terrorist plot involving Sectarium. They were also behind the Sectarium-based attack that led you putting out another arrest warrant on me. It was probably part of their plan, to shift the tension away from themselves. Our goal of this plot is to cause mass murders around the capital cities of every country in Europe. Victoria, as leader of Britain, I want you to put a stop to this terrorist conspiracy. He explains how the attack on Sectarium would be carried out. It's such an intricate plan that my limited imagination could find it hard to think about how it could ever happen in this world. I beg of you to believe me. I don't want this country or this city. I don't want London to turn into a city of death. Victor's desperate pleas are the only sound in the room, and all I can do is stand and watch. There is a moment of silence. Queen Victoria closes her eyes. It's difficult to tell what she thinks. It's unfortunate, but I won't be able to take any action based on what you've said. What? Her words of rejection are delivered so calmly and politely. It's the truth! Isaac Beckford left behind an entire research facility right here in London. You'll understand everything if you just go there. You'll see that I'm not a terrorist and that the true danger is... I didn't say I don't believe you. Then why? On the contrary, I have no doubts about anything you've just said. But I won't stop these attacks. I'm unsettled by these words and can't help but speak up. Why not? Why don't you want to stop them? I had to ask the question, even though I was already afraid of what her answer would be. She smiles as she responds. Because I'm the one pushing this plan forward. What? I was behind the attack on the palace. It's unfortunate that I had to waste some precious sectarium for mere show. She sighs daintily as if the matter doesn't involve the murder of countless innocents.
She then looks over at us and speaks boldly as if to clarify things once and for all. Dun dun! I am the one who used Twilight to launch a terrorist attack. I simply took over the plan Finnis and Isaac had set in motion. Are you out of your mind? Why? Why would you do such a thing? It's an option I had to take for the sake of Britain, just like the Vampire War 2 years ago. The Vampire War, the attempted genocide of Delhi's race by the British government. The humans were victorious and Delhi's people lost everything they had. An option you had to take. You're wrong, you made the worst possible choice available. No, it was a necessity. You wouldn't be able to say that if you'd seen the hell, if you'd only laid your eyes on it even once. How many lives do you think have been lost because of your creation, Sectarium? I've seen that hell many times, Doctor. And I still say that it was a necessary decision to make. Victor is unable to contain his anger, but Victoria remains cool and composed. The two confront one another from opposite ends of the spectrum. You said that the terrorism was necessary. Why is that? Weren't you listening? It's so Britain can retain its way of life. Everything is done out of love for this great nation. She says this so condescendingly. The previous King Edward took strong measures against other countries to pursue his colonial policies. He took over foreign colonies and monopolized trade, turning wealth into a naval power and making Britain a mighty force. Of course, the price we paid was high. Other nations across Europe united, waiting for the opportunity to bring us down. It was Britain against the world. That's the sort of conflict that was brewing. Our national defense became our top priority. And then the genius Isaac Bedford surfaced. His appearance was nothing short of a blessing for our country. Through Isaac's inventions and discoveries, Britain achieved massive military power. But it wasn't enough to protect us from the entire world. We needed to make our forces look bigger than they actually were, to intimidate the other countries into leaving us alone. In other words, we needed a live demonstration. And you targeted the vampires. Indeed, we needed to show unquestionable strength without invading another country. The vampires, then, were ideal candidates. They were few in number to begin with, and the public weren't invested in them at all. We just used that to our advantage. You used them for such a petty reason? Petty? If we hadn't that war, Britain would have fallen, doubtless in the most humiliating way possible. Foreign invasion. Wasn't there any other way? Dialogue? Diplomacy? Methods like that? If those had been the best options, I would have gone with them. However, at the time, war was the only method available. And now the time has come. Britain's technological and military power have come to surpass the rest of Europe combined. The calamities left behind by King Edward remain, and the embers of conflict he created are still smoldering. It's true that you reap what you sow, but that doesn't make it alright to allow Britain to fall. It doesn't make it right to rob the people of this country their tranquility. I have been guarding Britain's military technology strictly as classified information. But in the not-too-distant future, the day will come when this technology gets out and our superiority will no longer be intact. When that happens, all that awaits this land and its people is destruction and catastrophe. That is why the best and only method available that ensures the survival of Britain is to launch a world war right now, at this very moment, to bring all of Europe under British rule via our superior might. The greater the gap in the military strength, the smaller the damages sustained in war. That is why I'm about to ignite a war right now. Do you understand? Victoria's words are one of those who carries weight with an entire nation on her shoulders. It must be such a heavy burden, and the decision is not an easy one to make. When she delivers her plans to us with such confidence and resolve, I almost find myself swept up in her views. Why would you need to stage a terrorist attack in order to achieve this? I've been increasing the authority of the crown and weakening the voice of the parliament. But there will inevitably be those who cower at the prospect of going to war against all of Europe. We cannot win this war unless we are united in solidarity. What better way to do that than to direct their anger at one foe? That is what you meant about the incident at the palace being for show. You're pushing the entire country towards war. Exactly. When one of your own is killed by the enemy, hatred towards that enemy will come naturally. As for you, Dr. Frankenstein, once you've been captured, we will publicize that you were an informant for the French. After that, similar terrorist attacks will take place in various European countries: Spain, Germany, the Netherlands. Everyone who is arrested for these attacks will be on the course will be connected to Britain, and the nations will fall into confusion. Once we've reached the point which confrontation between Britain and the rest of the continents is guaranteed, war will be inevitable, and the one who remains strong at the end of this conflict will be Britain, as I planned. The scale of this plot is too huge for me to keep up with. What gives you the right to take the lives of innocent people for the survival of Britain? Your idea of justice means nothing to those who will die through your terrorism. You're most hilarious. You'd definitely be suited to devoting yourself to research behind closed doors. What? Who said anything about justice? This is evil. I deserve to be hated and resented. If it means I can protect my country, I am prepared to smear my honor with evil and corruption. And what about you, Dr. Frankenstein? Do you have that conviction to thwart me? Victor doesn't say anything and stands still, his tightly gripped fist shaking. Then Victoria looks at us and smiles. I'm in no hurry to kill you. I do need the two of you, Dr. Frankenstein and Cardia. How do you know my name? I've already looked into the underground lab that Dr. Frankenstein mentioned and found the information on Isaac, Finis, and you. I came to know your name from the various documents we discovered about you. I was surprised. Who would have thought that Isaac created his own daughter? I didn't realize that he had emotions before his death. I immediately react to Victoria's choice of words. Do you know my father? How could I not, being the leader of this country? He's the man who changed the very foundation of this nation. Her words prompt me to look over at Victor. It's my fault Cardia was created. Judging from Victoria's attitude, Victor is not my father. Then why did he write that in his own journal? We've gone a bit off topic, but as I mentioned, you can be assured that I'm in no hurry to kill you two. I just have a small favor to ask of you. If you meet my conditions, I'll lift the wanted notice on you, and we can forget any of this ever happened. What do you want? Victoria smiles gleefully, hearing the animosity in his quiet voice. I appreciate your being so open to hearing what I have to say. Dr. Frankenstein, my request is that he remains the same. I would like you, the creator of Zicterium, to begin producing it once again. What? Victor created Zicterium? Under Victoria's initiative, the alchemists attempted to create the Philosopher's Stone, accidentally discovering Zicterium. I remember this clearly as Victor had told me about it before. Victor created Zicterium? When Victor had been talking about researchers, did he mean himself? Seeing my reaction, Victoria continues to speak. Oh, by the look on your face, I take it he didn't tell you as much. That doesn't make much sense now, why he feels so strongly about a thing called Zicterium. It's because something I happened to discover led to the loss of so many lives. I can't stand in silence. It was obvious, it kind of was. Victor glares at the queen as if he might charge her at the slightest provocation. Victor Frankenstein, you were once called a genius and achieved great things as an alchemist. What you happened to create by chance can no longer be considered an anomaly. It has become necessary for Britain and her people. You are the only one in the world who knows how to produce Zicterium. You have the ability to change the course of a nation. According to the documents at the laboratory, a massive cache of unused Zicterium is somewhere here in London. We've been unable to find any traces of it for now, so it's of no use to us. We're counting on you. Place yourself under the government's protection, begin refining Victorium once again, and share your knowledge with us. That's all it will take to save Britain from complete and utter annihilation. So Victor's knowledge of the government, that the government had been after him for was how to make Sectarium. The choice is clear. Need I say more? Victor shakes his head in response to her half-threat, half-invitation. My answer won't change, no matter how many times you ask. I decline, Victoria. Really? And why is that? Even if it is to protect the country, that doesn't make it right to kill innocent people, just going about their lives. A weapon with solely deadly uses. I didn't study alchemy to make something like that. Even if creating a weapon allows you to save so many more lives as a result. Once a weapon has been created, it can be used a number of times. That's what a weapon is, a tool to hurt, not to save. I will never do what you ask. Victor looks at the Queen with a fierce resolve. He stands tall and confident, even while surrounded by guns. I've never seen him so gallant before. I appreciate a man who can stand up for himself. Well, Dr. Frankenstein, why don't we discuss how to deal with you at a later time? Cardia, dear, I have a gift for you. Would you accept it?
For me? I'm caught off guard by this sudden attention.
Leonhardt.
Yes! Leonhardt takes a step towards me at the moment his name is called and hands me a small box. I open it and find a small golden pocket watch. However, this watch only has one hand to indicate a passage of time. The numbers on the face are not standard ones seen on a clock. What is this? A special timepiece made just for you. The watch shows the time that you have remaining until you are no longer yourself anymore.
What?
Huh?
You seem upset, so you knew. You knew, and yet you deliberately didn't tell her. It's quite unlike you to be so sentimental and weak.
Victor turns his face away, avoiding my eyes, and when he speaks, it is with a great caution. It has to do with your body. The horologium is going through a transformation. Its properties are changing. It's changing, so what exactly does that leave me? Victoria, sensing my doubt, chimes in.
It means you're going to become a real, full-blown monster, an unstoppable force of death.
I'll become a monster? I'm unable to respond right away to the sudden revelation. I should be completely used to being called a monster by now. I'm an artificial life form with a deadly poison that eats away at anything I touch running through my veins. Even so, why do I feel so anxious? I'm already a monster. How much worse could I possibly become?
Finis did something to you at the research facility. He facilitated the awakening of the horologium.
She draws something from underneath her pouch from a pouch or pocket in her dress.
That's...
The object in her hand is the very same thing Finis had held against my chest at the research facility. I don't know what it's called, but it's that pendant with the red gem. My hand automatically clutches my chest, as I remember the unbearable heat I felt at that moment.
The documents I found shed some light on this item as well. Cardia, it seems that this pendant plays an important role in transforming you into a greater form of being. Once you have been awakened, after some time passes, you will change into a different form.
And that will be the force of death? Victoria smiles at my weak whisper.
You're a quick one. Once in that state, you'll be completely unstoppable because...
The poison stored in her body will be fully released. The current methods of keeping it contained will be ineffective. And we're not talking about melting anything within a few meters. Worst case, all of London will perish from the poison. No! I can't! Victor's words cause me to stagger back a few steps.
You were aware of all of this and yet you kept her ignorant.
The nature of your kindness is questionable, Dr. Frankenstein. Unfazed by Victor's piercing glare, the Queen calmly continues speaking.
Listen, Cardia. We've calculated the time until the critical point in... using the documents that have created that watch. In 30 hours, you will become the most destructive monster this world has ever seen. Too little time to make any decisions.
30 hours? That's all the time I have left?
In a little over a day, I will be the center of a cloud of death. Does knowing that now give you a better understanding? I'm glad you came here before it was too late. It should have been you who died instead of Mama. Even as Victoria speaks, I hear my own voice in my head. You must never know love. You have the means, I have the means to protect you. Even if you do turn into a monster, I can control you and prevent you from killing anyone. Cardia, do as I say. Victoria's words have a gentle ring. She extends her hand to me as if inviting me in. Cardia, please don't listen to her. I promise I will take care of your poison. In just 30 hours. 30 hours is more than enough time. You're bluffing, Dr. Frankenstein. Your claim is unfounded. I'm not bluffing. I'm determined. I will save her no matter what. I'll get that poison out of her body, I swear it. Victoria throws Victor a derisive glance at his outburst and turns back to me with her unchanging, thin smile. If you don't take action to prevent it, you will be responsible for the deaths of everyone you hold dear. Even Dr. Frankenstein, standing beside you this very moment, will die from your poison. I cautiously glance over at Victor. His expression is tense. Just the thought of his death makes me extremely uneasy. I'm suggesting that you allow me to protect you so none of that happens. Come with me, Cardia. I can save you. Memories of my past begin to surface from my mind as if summoned by what she says. A loved one. Her voice growing weaker. A dark cave. A body unmoving. That's right, Cardia, don't fall for what she's telling you. Victoria only wants to use you. You don't have to listen to her. You see? Don't you want to save Dr. Frankenstein, who genuinely wants to save you? Come now. The Queen and Victor stand to either side of me. She beckons to me unmistakably. If I take her hand, will I be spared from killing anyone? Will I be spared from killing those I love? Will I be spared from killing Victor with my own hands? If I'm only going to relive my past mistakes, then the poison within me will eventually kill Victor. Even if Victoria is only trying to use me, I want to be under her protection. As though these thoughts prompt me to take a step forward, Victor stops me, putting a hand on my shoulder. You mustn't go, Cardia. Calm down and look me in the eyes. I don't want to become a monster. Cardia, listen to my voice. Victor's shouts echo through the throne room. I'm pretty sure it's step back because you're listening to him. Listen to the good boy. I'm gonna take a step back. I'm sorry, Victoria. I can't do as you ask either. If Victor says that he can save me, I'm going to trust him. I've realized that my happiness depends on staying by his side and supporting him. No matter what anyone says, I can't go with you. I take a step away from the Queen. Cardia, thank you for believing in me. I'm going to save you, I promise. I know. You're the most reliable person I know. Very well. I understand how you feel. I didn't want to resort to using force, but I suppose I have no choice. I'll have you confined until you reconsider. I'm sorry, but we don't intend to get caught again. Easier said than done. How do you intend to extricate yourselves now from the situation you're in right now? I can sense soldiers around us tightening their grips on their weapons as if anticipating Victoria's orders. Victor doesn't respond to her question and remains still, simply observing the room. Leonhardt, command your men to fire. Aim for their legs. Her voice is cold. It's obvious that she's decided that we are her enemy. However, what's the matter, Leonhardt? A fleeting expression of doubt crosses Leonhardt's face. Cardia, close your eyes. Seizing the opportunity, Victor rips a button from his coat and dashes it to the floor. A mind-numbingly high-pitched noise from an intense light fills the room. Yeah! Do not let them escape. You must capture them. Although Victoria's command is loud and clear, the soldiers suffered a blunt flash of light and are in no condition to act. Cardia, run! Victor takes my hand and starts running. I have to run at full speed so I can keep up with him. Cardia, can you keep running? Yes, I'm fine. We evade the pursuers and exit the palace. Now, as long as we can escape the palace grounds, we can lose them in the London crowds. Or so we thought. There they are! Capture them! We won't let you get away, Victor Frankenstein! There are already so many soldiers gathered out in the courtyard. Victor pulls me close and looks around us. There's no place for us to run! We'll be fine, we've got backup. Victor looks up at the night sky as he whispers this to me, cutting through the darkness. Here comes the Anthropoder! Cardia, Victor, we're here to save you! The Anthropoder approaches, piloted by Impy. There's more of them! Ignore them for now, our priority is capture the target!
Aw, Leonhard.
No can do! They're not going to ignore us! Lupin pops his head out from the edge of the Anthropoder and drops several small orbs down onto the soldiers. Grenades! Fall back, men! The soldiers run off in a panic. And a colorful array of fireworks goes off. How do you like that? Look at them running scared! You think you're so smart? Everyone prepare to fire! As the soldiers take aim, the Anthropoder dives and then levels to the low ground, still going quite fast. Out of the way! Trailing smoke and zooms through the crowd of soldiers. God, blinding trick! I can't see! Where'd they go? We can't think Impy and Lupin enough. Let's get out of here. I nod vigorously in agreement. We run and run. And when we finally escape, reaching a place that seems safe. We managed to get away. He must be tired from running at full speed. Victor leans against the wall with a smile, watching me. You never cease to amaze me. You aren't short of breath at all after all that running. That's right. I suppose my body definitely is designed to be unique. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to come across as though you weren't human or something. Don't worry, I know what you mean. We take a breath for several minutes so he can catch his breath. Afterwards, Victor turns back to me. You're probably very confused right now. So many truths were revealed to you all at once. Yeah, I feel like my head's gonna explode. I'm sorry I kept it from you. I was only being selfish by hiding the truth from you, thinking that it could be my decision to avoid causing you any more pain. Victor looks serious. For some reason I can't look at him in the face and stare at the pocket watch instead. There's only one hand, and it's just passed. When the hand reaches 0, when it has become it's when I become a monster. I wonder if that's true. Maybe it's best for everyone if I go someplace where I can't hurt people and stay in hiding. It's just an idea that pops in my head, but... No, don't hide away! I won't let you. I'd never let you do that. He gently but firmly takes my hand as if to say that he would never let go. You've saved me so many times. Even though I hadn't told you anything, you've always been concerned about my well-being. You said I was important to you. There's no way I can leave someone like that to fend for herself. I'm not going to let you turn into a deadly monster, I promise. I feel Victor's grip on my hands tighten. You're a kind-hearted girl. I'll never allow you to become a monster. The sincerity in his words drills straight into my heart, along with his earnest gaze. Touched by his sincerity, I find myself thinking reaffirmingly, this man is so precious to me. That's what I feel right now. Victor gently releases me. And saving you is my way to atone. Atone? Atone for what? Let's get back to the hideout. I'll tell you everything. No more secrets. Alright, tell me everything. We smile at each other, then... My chest, the horologium, burns with an excruciating heat. Cardia? I can't speak and I fall to the ground. Cardia, what's the matter? Cardia! I hear Victor's voice from a distance. Unable to respond, I feel my consciousness drift into the depths of darkness. Woo! Chapter 11, The Alchemist's Secret. Okay, And for that, I'm actually gonna take a break because I've been streaming like 2.5 hours now. I have no problem with continuing on with his maybe tomorrow or another day whenever you both are free. But my room is also getting quite warm. So, thank you both for watching though. I hope you both had fun. Bye bye. Please take care. I'm kind of sleeping. Yeah, it's pretty late your time. I want you to get your rest too. At the rate we're going, we might actually just be able to finish his route, because Victor actually has kind of a short route compared to some of the other boys. But, thanks for watching though. Bye bye!